Chào mừng đến với Học Tiếng Anh OK, mình tên là Duy, and today I want to share with you something that's been really impactful in my life recently and has helped me find more meaning, more joy, and more entertainment. And that thing is reading books. I have recently loved reading books. Right now I'm reading like 3 or 4 different books because I enjoy it so much. So today I want to share some personal experiences, explain the benefits of reading, and give you some tips so that you can start your own reading habit. So let's get into it. So the benefits of reading for me, there are so many different things. One of the big ones is expanding my knowledge. There are so many things that we can learn just from reading books. We don't have to go to school to learn everything. There are so many things in books that we can access and expand our knowledge. And this might look like finding online books, finding a library that you can go to and check out books and read from them. And that for me has been awesome because right now I'm a college student. I go to university, I study, and our school provides us with a library that gives us access to all sorts of resources, all sorts of books, so that I can study anything that I want. And I don't have to be going to a class that's specific to that. I can just start learning it by checking out a book and reading. Lately, I've been reading a lot of self-help, self-improvement type books because that's something that I'm interested in right now. I'm looking to develop myself and become the person that I've always wanted to be. And it's been really eye-opening to see how many different perspectives there are, but how many similar threads and commonalities there are between all of these different ideas and these different concepts for self-improvement. One of the books I'm reading right now is called 4-Hour Workweek. And this is a book that kind of talks about how to prioritize your time in a way that you can do everything that's most important and not waste time on the things that are not as important. So I've been trying some of those things as of today, and it's been really helpful. One of those things is starting a timer and timing how long you think a project's going to take and then following through on it. And when you do that, then it helps you to see, okay, this is how much time I'm spending on this. It also helps you focus in because you have a specific time amount that you're going to work for. And that's been helpful for me so far. And I'm going to keep trying it and see if it keeps working for me. Another really big benefit of reading for me is that it helps me focus. In today's world, I've noticed that when I'm scrolling on social media, there are all sorts of videos where it's like, watch this now, do this now, this, that, this. And it's just over energizing and way too fast paced. When I sit down and I read a book, it takes me time to sit there and think, okay, I'm reading this and I'm focusing on just that one thing. I'm not moving from one thing to the next thing really fast, like when I'm scrolling. So I love that because it helps my brain focus. It helps me concentrate. It helps me feel like I'm not being torn into a million different directions. It helps me be where I am right then and right there and focus on one thing, which is that book. And the third benefit that I've found from reading is it helps reduce my stress and helps me relax. Usually when I do most of my reading, it's right before bed. I like to sit down and read a book for maybe 30 minutes to an hour before I go to sleep. And that helps me wind down for the night. It helps me focus in on something and kind of just relax and not be pushing to do the next thing, pushing to achieve the next goal, start the next task or whatever. When I sit down and I read, it's just a time for me to rest and focus on the words on the page. And it's so peaceful. It's so great. So growing up when I was probably around 10 or 12, I started really loving reading. I was reading books constantly. I had so many books that I was able to get through, and I loved it. I enjoyed the stories that were being told to me, and I enjoyed experiencing different worlds. And then eventually I hit high school. And in high school, there was a lot of required reading where they had me reading classic literature. And I did not enjoy that. I did not like it. I was forced to read these books that were older and kind of boring for me. And because of that, I didn't feel any desire to read anything else because I was suffering so much reading these books that I saw as boring. So I stopped reading outside of what was required of me for a long time. And then I started going to university, and this last year, I really started to get into reading again. I found the joy of it because it gave me something to experience that was different from my own life. Like what I enjoyed about it when I was in elementary school, when I was younger. I loved the story. I loved stepping into a new world. And I found that again, that I could enjoy that just as much as I did when I was younger, if not more now. And one of the reasons that I started getting more into reading recently is because my mom. She set a goal to read as many books as she could this year, and she was constantly telling me about the books she was reading, about the things she was learning, and how much she enjoyed it. And I thought to myself, I want that. I want to have that same kind of experience. I want to be reading books and learning things and experiencing new worlds and all those things again. And it got me excited, so I started reading. And I've been through a lot of books lately, and it's been really fun for me. I've enjoyed it. And something that I've noticed recently as well is I'm not just reading the same kinds of books that I used to read when I was younger. I've started expanding my vision, my horizons. I've found new things that I enjoy. I've started reading self-help books, which is different from what I would read when I was young. I used to read only fiction. Now I read self-help. I read fiction. I read nonfiction. I read a lot of different genres of book, and they all contribute to who I am in a different way. But I find that to be enjoyable. I find that to be exciting because there are so many different pieces of life that we can experience, and books can help us experience each of those in a small way and see it through the author's perspective. So if this is something that you're interested in and you want to start reading more books because you feel like that's something that would be exciting for you, that would be helpful for you, then here are 3 tips that can help you be able to start that reading habit. The first thing to remember is you do not have to read an entire book in one day. That's not a requirement. You just have to start. If you read a little bit every day, that's great. If right before bed you say, I'm going to read 2 pages, great. And then you just keep doing that. You'll eventually get through books, no matter how much you're reading, as long as you keep doing it consistently. The second tip is to read things that you enjoy. Like with my experience in high school, I stopped reading because I was reading things that I did not enjoy. I didn't like them at all. So if you want to get into reading, if you're interested in something, read about that, because that will keep you engaged, because it's something that you care about. It's something that you want in your life. Tip number 3 is to set a regular schedule for it. So for me, like I said, I like to read at night. Right before I go to bed, I'll do 30 minutes to an hour. For you, it might be right when you wake up. That's a good time for you. Or it might be in the afternoon on your lunch break. You have like 5 to 10 minutes. Oh, I'm going to read for a little bit. The thing that's most important is picking when you're going to do it and committing to doing it at that time. And lately, I've found that sometimes it can be hard to be carrying around a physical copy of a book. And if that's the case for you, ebooks and audiobooks are great. I have found them to be very accessible and very easy to use because I can carry them with me anywhere and they don't take up a lot of space, and I don't have to worry about them getting broken or getting wet if it's raining or something like that. I don't have to worry about that because it's an ebook or it's an audiobook and I can listen to it, and there's so many benefits to that. Just find what works for you and do that. Now let's practice listening to a short story about someone that improved their life by reading. I want you to listen carefully, and then I'm going to have you answer these questions. This is Sarah. Sarah used to feel stuck in her daily routine. One day, she decided to read a book called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. As she read, Sarah learned to live in the present and appreciate every moment. This simple change transformed her life. She started meditating, journaling, and spending more time with her family. Now here are those questions again. 1. What was the title of the book Sarah read? 2. How did the book change her life? Write your answers in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you've been able to learn a little bit more about who I am, as well as some things that can help you in your life to find more meaning, find direction, find whatever it is that you're looking for. And I hope that you'll take this and you'll start to apply it. You'll start reading and learning from the people around you, because there truly is so much to learn. Thank you again for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really helps our channel grow. It helps us connect with more people like you that want to learn English. And if you have a favorite book, share it down below. If you want more listening practice, you can watch this video or this video. Bye bye nha!